A church in Texas made a movie that got an R rating. Is it worth watching? And does it deserve the R? Find out when I look at My Son on this week's Indy Christian Review. If your child was taken away, how far would you go to get them back? That's the dilemma that Jess faces in My Son. Jess has had a pretty rough life. After getting pregnant in high school, she was disowned by her parents and has been living on her own. But it seems like life has finally taken a turn for the better for her and her son Austin now that they're living with her boyfriend Caden. Caden is a good, hardworking man who truly loves Jess and considers Austin to be his own son. Life isn't perfect, but they're happy. All that changes, however, when Caden's childhood friend Beau throws a birthday party for Caden at their house. The party scene that follows is one of the big reasons this movie got its R rating, but I'll come back to that later. Meanwhile, Jess's parents, concerned for Austin's welfare, arrange to have Child Protective Services find them and check up on them. And of course, the social worker has the worst timing possible and shows up the morning after the party. This, along with other problems that Jess has had, causes the courts to take Austin out of her custody and give him to her parents, which absolutely devastates her. In a huge display of poor judgment, Caden goes to Beau for help. As you might expect, things spiral out of control very quickly. I was very impressed with this movie. It has a gritty, handheld style that's very well executed and really helps with the overall tone of the film. And considering this is the first movie for most of the cast, the acting's actually really good. The characters are believable and the story has a very true-to-life feel. One thing I noticed, though, is that the bulk of the characters are real jerks. Even the churchgoers. I appreciated the subtle aspect of pointing a mirror, if you will, at our own hypocrisies and giving us pause for self-evaluation. Every character definitely has their flaws, but the good guys are very sympathetic. No one is completely in the right in this situation, but the movie does not excuse any of the bad behavior. So this movie has caused a bit of controversy. It was rated R for some violence and drug use. Yes, we do see some bloody violence and we do see some people smoking what is presumably marijuana at the party. But I can think of 4 movies that had much more graphic violence and showed people smoking and still only got a PG-13 rating. Now, according to the MPAA's website, any drug use will initially require at least a PG-13 rating. Under the R rating, they cite the required material to be drug abuse. And in the context of the scene, yeah, it could be considered drug abuse. Honestly, I think this has to be the most mild R-rated movie ever. It's definitely not for kids, but if you have a personal policy of not watching any R-rated movies, you might want to make an exception here. It's an intense, edge-of-your-seat thriller that is well worth watching. The movie is currently having a limited theatrical release, so to find out the latest about it, go to mysonmovie.com. And that's all the time we have. Thank you for watching Indy Christian Review. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below if this review was helpful for you. Until next week, may God bless you, and may God bless independent Christian films.